What is up, Packer fans, football fans? It is championship week, the NFC championship. We have the San Francisco 49ers going into Philadelphia to play the Eagles. And on the AFC side, we have a rematch of last year. The Cincinnati Bengals go into Kansas City to face off with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So we'll start with the NFC side. To me, that's the side that is a little bit easier to pick, a little bit easier to decide. I know that the Niners have been on a great run. Brock Purdy is 8-0 in his starts, 2 of them in the playoffs, 6-0 in the regular season. The offense looks good, the defense looks dynamic, and like they're dominating games. Nick Bosa, potentially the defensive player of the year of the NFL. So this San Francisco team really on a nice run right now. We all know Trey Lance went out early with a broken ankle. Then Jimmy G came in. They played well. Then he went out. Brock Purdy came in. Mr. Irrelevant. We didn't know how he'd be. He came in and played well enough, managed the game. He had 330 yards passing a couple weeks ago, so this guy can really ball, beat the Cowboys. He did look a little bit overwhelmed in that game, though. I think the Cowboys made enough mistakes to kind of, undermine what Brock Purdy was trying to deal with in the game. Dak Prescott 2 interceptions. That wasn't a good look. Brock Purdy outplayed Dak in the game. So still think, though, this Eagles defense, 70 sacks this season. They get after the quarterback. It's in Philly. It's a dynamic stadium. The crowd is crazy in Philly. I really think it's going to be a tough game for San Francisco, for the young guy, Brock Purdy. It just looked like the moment was a little bit too big for him against Dallas. The team was better, and Dallas made more mistakes, so San Fran came out on top. They didn't really score a lot of points against the Dallas defense. San Fran's offense didn't really do a whole lot. Their defense just was that much better than the Cowboys and Dak Prescott and everybody on the Cowboys offense. That last play of the game for the Cowboys, I really don't know what they were trying to do, but same thing happened to them last year against San Francisco when they ran a quarterback sneak on the last play of the game. So 2 years in a row for the Cowboys, ending in just poor play calling and just a bad game at the end of the season against San Fran. And now San Fran's going to Philly. Really a cool story. Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy. There's a huge quarterback controversy now in San Francisco. What are they going to do? They have Trey Lance. They have Jimmy G. They have Brock Purdy. I'm guessing Jimmy G is gone, but now they have to figure out what they're going to do with Trey and what they're going to do with Brock. I think if Brock does win this game, whether he wins this game or not, I think he deserves a chance to start next season. Absolutely. If he wins this game and he gets them to the Super Bowl, then obviously he's like on a Tom Brady run and he deserves to be the starter next year. Whether he wins or loses, still a cool run for the kid. But I think it ends here with Philly. Jalen Hurts playing like an MVP. Until he got hurt, he might have been the MVP. Philly on just a huge hot run right now. Really a good season. Devontae Smith on the outside, A.J. Brown at receiver. Just 2 guys that have really different skill sets, but that can dominate on the outside. And then, Dallas Goedert's back. I know they have one of the best offensive lines in football, if not the best, with Jason Kelly up front and Zane Johnson on the outside. It's just this offensive line is a beast. And then so behind Jalen Hurts, who's basically their power back, they have Miles Sanders, who can really run, Kenneth Gainwell, who is pretty good out of the backfield catching the ball. So this offense is dynamic, and then the defense is coming after you. Like I said, 70 sacks. They've got the big guy in the middle, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham coming off the edge, and then the outside, Bradbury and Darius Big Play Slay. This defense gets after it. They played the Packers this year, so we know what kind of team they are, and they can score points. We saw them against the Giants. I mean, that game was over before it even got started, really. I mean, it was like 28-7 early on in the game, and you could just see Philly was just pouring it on, play after play after play, and scoring with ease. It seemed like that week off didn't really, mess with them too much. No rust at all. Just came out and dominated. I think that's going to be how it goes against the 49ers. I know the Niners are a good team. They have a good defense. It's going to be a slugfest early. I just think Philly being at home, having a quarterback who's been, playing a little bit longer, it's going to be a Philly victory for them for sure. So we'll see. We will see. 49ers, they have Debo still. They have Brandon Ayuk. They have George Kittle, who has had like 7 touchdowns with Brock Purdy in the last 4 games, I think, or last 3 games. I mean, that's crazy to think about. He really has a good connection with Brock. And then obviously Christian McCaffrey, adding him midseason was huge for the Niners. The issue is, though, he does have an injury. I think it's an ankle injury. No one's really talking about it. Everybody's talking about Patrick Mahomes' injury. So Christian's ankle might be a problem. If he gets rolled up on weird or gets tackled weird, he might be out of that game early. That would really change the whole dynamic of the offense for San Francisco early on in that game. And I don't know what they'd be able to do after that, if they'd really be able to stay with Philly. It's going to be close. It's going to be a great game. Obviously, both teams are there for a reason. I just think that Brock Purdy's run, the San Francisco little reign of terror, ends now. Philly is going to win this game. Not really sure the score. Probably like 31-23, something like that. I know San Fran will score some points, but they had trouble moving the ball against the Cowboys, trouble scoring touchdowns against the Cowboys. I know they held the Cowboys to basically all field goals. So their defense was playing really well, especially against the high-powered offense like Dallas. But I think Philly being at home will really help. And then just having guys that, they've been on this run for a long time. They've had everybody's best shot for a long time. And I think they're ready for this moment. So I see Philly winning, especially now since Nick Sirianni got stripped of being top, or one of the 3 top votes for Coach of the Year. I think these guys are going to want to really play for him and get this win against Kyle Shanahan, who's still in the running. So that'll be an interesting little tidbit aspect of this. But I think Philly comes out on top, like I said. So now to the game. This game, you guys, I'm super excited for. Cincinnati Bengals going to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. We all know what Joe Burrow is able to do. 60 touchdown passes in college in his last season before he got drafted #1 to the Bengals. This guy is the real deal. I love Joe Cool. I think he's just great. I love his attitude. I love his swagger. I love his play. I love all of it. So this guy can play for sure, but Patrick Mahomes is on the other side. This guy, Mr. $500 million man, I still think Patrick Mahomes is the next coming of Aaron Rodgers. He has to do it for as long as Rodgers, but if he keeps up the play, 5 AFC championship games in 5 years, even though Joe Burrow is 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes, they're calling Arrowhead Burrowhead because Joe Burrow beats Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead a lot, and they haven't had a lot of chances to play since Joe Burrow just got into the league not too many years ago, but they already have a unique dynamic and a unique rivalry. These two teams really don't like each other, and we know the Chiefs don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. That was a huge part of this rivalry, and now there's other weapons, Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. We all know that Travis Kelce is the best passing tight end in the league, probably in NFL history. So very cool. This is going to be a great game, these two. But the question of the weekend is Patrick Mahomes' high ankle sprain going to be okay? Is he going to be able to run around, scramble, and make the plays that we all know Mahomes makes? If he's not able to make those plays, Cincinnati does have a good defense. They have Hubbard coming off the outside. They have Hendrickson coming off the outside, off the edge. So these two guys are going to get after Mahomes if he can't scramble around. DJ Reader coming up the middle. This defense for the Bengals is the real deal. They kind of stirred up the offensive line. Some of the guys got hurt. Well, Collins is out, but I know Kappas is in, so Alex Kappas. So this is a defense and an offense for the Bengals that is different than last year. They have improved, and these guys now have a year of being in these situations behind them. They lost the Super Bowl last year. The Bengals want to get there again, want to win. I know they started out slow. I think they were 0-2 to start the season, and then they just went on this run, and Joe Burrow just let everybody calm down, and now Jamar Chase is healthy. Everybody's healthy. Higgins and Boyd, and they've got Hurst back, the big tight end. So this Bengals team is coming for sure, and I wanted to really ride the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs train. I just figured, like I said, the 5th AFC championship in 5 years. I thought, they're going to win. They're going to get it this time. But then I heard about the ankle injury, and now it's a lot more even. I really think it's going to be a close game. It's going to come down to the wire. It's going to come down to maybe a defensive touchdown, special teams, something. I know both offenses are going to be able to score points. Defense is going to have to make plays. Both quarterbacks have been in these situations. Both quarterbacks are at the top of their league, at the top of their sport in what they do. So it's going to be a crazy matchup. I know Isaiah Pacheco in the backfield for the Chiefs and Jerick McKinnon. Those guys are really going to have to play the best games of the season. And then Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine is going to have to play great for the Bengals. This is going to be nuts. Like, this game is going to be so great. Probably the best game of the weekend, of course, and then probably the best game of the playoffs. I actually thought the Bills-Bengals game last week was going to be one of like an instant classic, but it ended up being a Bengals-dominated game. That could happen again against the Chiefs. We will see. I know the Bengals are playing great football right now, but I still think if Patrick Mahomes can get as close to 100% as possible, the Chiefs will win this game. Although, obviously, it's going to be a back-and-forth slugfest, back and forth, back and forth. I really think the Chiefs are going to come out ahead here. We'll see, though. But I'm picking the Chiefs 31-30 to get this win against the Bengals. I hate betting against Joe Cool and the Bengals, Joe Burrow. This guy, just really won me over with his play, with his attitude, with all those things. But I just won't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Not right now, not in this situation, not at home. They've played games against the Bengals where they've lost because after getting huge leads against them and then giving them up later in the game. I don't think that happens this weekend. Chiefs win. Then we're going to have a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl. Super exciting. Don't wait for that video, guys. I will get you guys next time. Go Packers all the time, no matter what. Peace out, guys. See you next time.